欢迎收看今天文茜的世界周报。我们先来看一下1月6号，2021年，这是美国历史上转捩点一天。美国从1814年再也没有任何人攻入美国的国会。美国从来不是第三世界，我们常常看到的乌克兰等大家熟悉的第三世界国家。当他们对既有的政权不满，就会攻入国会，因为美国作为一个民主典范的国家，他们相信有一定的民主程序、一定的民主秩序来解决这个国家内部的纷争，这正是民主之美好。在1月6号当天是什么日期呢？当天的日期，第一个是美国的国会前所未有的突然发生了一个争论。过去美国的总统大选，只要选举人团一投完票，争论就结束了，或者是大法官会议的最高法院一判就完毕，很自然的争论就完毕了。这一次闹到1月6号，于是这一些选民就在川普当时的演说之后，就跨过去潘斯万尼亚。那美国呢，一刚开始，国会大厦早就已经准备好他的警卫，有将近2000多警卫，而这些警卫在两侧挡住民众。可是最后在某一侧，在东侧那个地方，民众在那个地方突破了。美国后来 BLM 就是黑人的命也是命的民权领袖，他看到这个景象，他说：“美国什么时候警察可以对攻占国会这件事情态度如此犹豫不决，而且那些人还拿着枪出来展示，同时爬过了整个国会，怎么会如此？会让他们攻占进入呢？”最后有一位警卫甚至被暴民打到，最后回到办公室昏倒，然后死亡，降半旗。美国从来历史上没有发生过这件事情，而这个时间点呢，从川普对他们说话，国会开始要认证到底拜登是不是下一届总统，一直延续到美国凌晨的清晨4点钟，最后由副总统潘斯认证了拜登当选。这是美国历史上拜登说是最黑暗的一天，但是我不知道他是不是最黑暗，他是转类史的一天，他也决定了川普，决定了共和党，决定了很多人对民主政治的认识。值得我们注意的是，全美国所有的媒体除了极右派之外，全部称这一圈抗争的民众，他们没有说他叫占领国会，他们称他们叫做暴民。请看我们以下用时间表为大家所整理出来的，待会儿我们来访问现场来宾，也会一一介绍几位我们今天谈话的贵宾。
Storm the Capitol, to smash windows, to occupy offices, the floor of the United States Senate, rummaging through desks, on the Capitol, on the House of Representatives, threatening the safety of duly elected officials. It's not protest. It's insurrection.
震惊、茫然、不可置信。2021年1月6日是美国民主史上最黑暗的一天。
Oh, meanwhile, up on the steps of the backside of the Capitol, we're seeing protesters overcome the police. The police are now running back into the Capitol building. We have cheers from the protesters that are watching behind the scenes. This is incredible.
Chaos and lawlessness striking at the heart of American democracy. And minutes after Cruz spoke, the bedlam broke out in the Capitol. They stormed the Capitol, clashing with police, breaking windows.
And we're seeing more of these revolting images we never thought we'd see in our lifetimes. An armed standoff on the floor of the House. Lawmakers having to hide in fear of their lives.
Pence was whisked to safety by the Secret Service. The building went into lockdown, but protesters were already inside, marching through Statuary Hall. One man carried a large Confederate flag just outside the Senate chamber, and inside another took to the podium himself to declare Trump had won the election. And look at this, a rioter broke into the office of the Speaker of the House and put his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Anywhere else around the globe, we would call this a coup attempt. That's what I think it is.
This is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. It is un-American. period.
民主圣地美国的最高立法机关遭暴徒占领，如无人之地。这件事是怎么发生的？按照美国联邦法律，1月6日是国会参众两院联席会议将认可先前各州提交的选举人票结果。往年这不过是行礼如仪的过场，不过现在的总统是川普，他早在几个星期前就策划了一场大游行。
On the 19th of December, tweeted, "Big protest in D.C. on January the 6th. Be there, will be wild." A few weeks later, he repeated this message again in capitals.
在川普总统的号召下，支持者真的如期现身。
What are we supposed to do? Okay, the Supreme Court's not helping us. No one's helping us. Only us can help us. Only we can do it.
The rally started peacefully as tens of thousands gathered outside the White House. They cheered Donald Trump and his allies as they continued to lie that the election was stolen.
About an hour before the violence broke out, President Trump spoke to supporters at a rally.
All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
Telling them to march to the Hill.
We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
People marched down 2 avenues to the Capitol, and once they got there, some broke through barricades.
This is our Capitol. We built it.
You know, this is a bunch of really, really pissed off regular folks. I get a job. This is Wednesday. I'm supposed to be at work. Yeah.
Earlier that day, around 2 p.m., pro-Trump rioters jumped barricades and smashed windows, quickly overwhelming police and storming the Capitol building.
And it will stand in recess until the call of the chair.
We'll pause.
Protesters are in the building.
Thank you.
Lawmakers were interrupted, evacuated, and ordered to lock themselves in their offices.
Protesters became looters, turning the Capitol inside out. Sadly, 4 people died in the chaos, including 14-year Air Force veteran Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed as rioters attempted to break into this locked corridor. Some of the protesters believing incorrectly the president was marching with them.
We're going to walk down and I'll be there with you.
But as his supporters overtook the Capitol, Trump was nowhere to be found.
On television and on Twitter, Republican lawmakers begging President Trump to tell his supporters to go home.
Call it off, Mr. President. We need you to call this off.
Silent as they seized the building.
George W. Bush, the last Republican president, said he watched the scenes of mayhem unfold in disbelief and dismay.
总统当选人拜登也受不了了。
The world's watching. Like so many other Americans, I am genuinely shocked and saddened that our nation, so long the beacon of light and hope for democracy, has come to such a dark moment. I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege.
在拜登喊话不久后，川普说话了，但不是拜登期望他说的话。
This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special.
相较于川普，他的副手潘斯是这么说的
：Today was a dark day in the history of the United States Capitol. To those who wreaked havoc in our Capitol today, you did not win. Violence never wins. Freedom wins.
Donald Trump lost the election by more than 7 million votes. His lawsuits were rejected by dozens of judges, but still, he told his followers that the election was rigged, and he demanded that his vice president reject the electoral votes and overturn the election in Congress today.
Mike Pence is going to have to come through for us, and if he doesn't, that will be a sad day for our country.
潘斯回绝了，在一份声明稿中，潘斯说他没有权利推翻选民的意愿。
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell broke with the president too.
If this election were overturned by mere allegations from the losing side, our democracy would enter a death spiral. We'd never see the whole nation accept an election again.
警方花了将近12小时，才把这群人自国会大楼中全数驱离。华府宣布进入了紧急状态，并实施宵禁。维吉尼亚州和马里兰州紧急增援警力 ，FBI 和 ATF 也派人支援。推特冻结了川普账号，祭出永久停权。脸书及 YouTube 也同步下架川普影片。议员重回议场，继续未完成的使命。
And I saw the images being broadcast around the world, and it breaks my heart. The best way we can show respect for the voters who are upset is by telling them the truth.
And when it's over, it is over. It is over. The final thing, Joe Biden. I've traveled the world with Joe. I hoped he lost. I prayed he would lose. He won. He's the legitimate president of the United States.
3:41 in the morning, Vice President Pence officially announced the next president of the United States would be Joe Biden.
The votes for president of the United States are as follows. Joseph R. Biden, Jr. of the state of Delaware has received 306 votes. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 232 votes.
The end of this process, but we did see a sense of relief, if you will. Speaker Pelosi as well as Vice President Pence doing a bit of an elbow bump.
Even Vice President Pence seemed relieved.
不过伤痕已经留下了。
The Capitol building that was so viciously overrun by rioters today is usually as proud a place as exists in America. It is where Franklin Roosevelt steadied a nation crippled by the Depression.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
And where John F. Kennedy called a country to service.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
A simple procedural step in the peaceful transition of power was crashed by an angry mob. It was as disturbing as it was heartbreaking. It was, quite frankly, un-American.
美国很多的媒体，不管是 Washington Post、纽约时报、CNN 到华尔街日报，很多人以为华尔街日报叫做主流媒体，叫做左派媒体，这实在是一个大笑话。因为华尔街日报是最支持资本主义的右派媒体，全部都称这群人是暴民。美国耻辱的一天，而 Washington Post 要求川普下台。 第一天社论就出来了，然后呢，《纽约时报》把在国会里头曾经提案要求国会否认选举结果的6位参议员跟其他的几位众议员全部名字列下来，请历史记住这些人的名字，因为对他们而言，国会代表一个崇尚的一个机构，那是民主最重要的一个象征，甚至比白宫 来的还要重要，因为国会代表的是人民的意志。我们现场几位来宾，我来介绍一下，从左边开始。第一位是留学法国巴黎大学，哇，他们法国是经历过法国大革命的啊。那法国巴黎大学的政治学的教授，现在呢是政大外交系的副教授赖岳谦。在我左手边的第二位是 Maryland， 哇，这次你们有好几个跟 Maryland 有关的人。Maryland 大学经济学的博士，同时也是东吴大学的讲座教授，台湾前政委员，著名的经济学家。在我右手边，他是曾经担任过台湾国安会的副秘书长，那么同时也是台大政治系的教授。他们都是在不管实务的经验或是学术上非常有经验的人。另外一位是我们从 Arizona 回来台湾啊，那他过去呢曾经在金融时报里头被称为亚洲硬体分析是第1名，然后不管是他在 Barclays 董事总经理的职位，还是花旗银行的董事总经理职位，都表现非常非常的好。那当然，美国这样子的结果，它会造成全世界对美国不只是民主，还有对这个国家实力的竞争等等哈，通通都会有所怀疑。我们现在讨论，大家很快的来谈一下你们的看法。我问一个问题啊，每个人应该都有他的看法，这是美国的难忘还是历史的绝望？我请赖先开始。
我觉得应该是难忘了，还不到绝望啊，因为美国的民主政治还是可以继续走下去。不过，美国的这一次的事件，其实告诉大家说，原来权力的和平转移啊，不管在任何一种政治体制之下，其实都是很脆弱，也都不是很坚强的。原来民主国家认为说啊，我们的这样的一个民主体制在权力转移中，应该是相对来讲是比较坚强的啊。但是事实上，在很多的国家里面都发生。在所有的民主政治选举过程中，最后权力转移都不见得是那么的稳定，也那么的坚强。那原本是美国跟欧洲的比较成熟的民主国家，所谓的民主，因为都是民主国家哦，那他们一直在强调说我们是最坚强的。不过美国告诉大家说其实它没有那么脆弱，但是它也没有那么坚强。
国际领袖里头有2个人对美国这一次的暴民政治发出了谴责，分别是德国的总理梅克尔，还有法国总统马克宏。
是的。那其实这一次，当然对于美国而言，这是一个告诉我们，即使是美国也不例外。政治制度走到了对立，然后呢，这种撕裂的情况的时候呢，他对于制度的不信任，对于建制派的不信任，然后呢，各种的 QAnon， 也就是这种阴谋论，再加上主其事者有权力的人。他不断的在鼓动，煽动这样子的这种情绪，这背后当然还有社经、种族，尤其这一次种族的因素是相当的这个深刻的。你看看那个整个示威场上有多少个黑人，如果不刻意找，你根本可能找不到。然后呢，所有的政治人物从这个大楼逃到他们的研究大楼，在 Nancy Pelosi 甚至被引导到这个五角大厦国防部去。这个过程中，其实将近是3个小时，从下午的美东时间2点钟到5点钟的这个时间啊，其实他在问我们的国民兵在哪里，华府的政报部队在哪里？国民兵其实某种程度已经被川普政府的这个国防部。
那其实我要跟大家回忆一件事情，美国制宪的时候呢，当时 Washington 就反对总统制。华盛顿基本上是美国第1任的总统，但是他反对总统制，他认为应该叫做行政长官。理由是什么？因为美国是全世界第1个学宪法都知道第1个总统制的国家。
对。
然后他反对总统制的理由，他说我们联邦叫行政长官，为什么不要叫总统制？他说阴谋家一旦出现，他就会煽动民众。当他煽动民众的时候，一般老百姓是没有分辨能力的，所以他是反对美国设立总统。那后来设立了总统以后，就说那我们就用选举人团，用精英节制，不要让一般的民众这么容易被煽动。所以华盛顿当时创国244年，他从来没有想过，他以为是当时的危险，他没有想过经过244年会如此。但是他谈的是什么？他谈的叫做政治里头的人性。所以 Joe Biden 这次谈的话说，民主何其的脆弱。